in the way of a big, angry rhinoceros with a sharp horn and a bad temper is not a good thing. It happens to me nearly every day. My name is George Peary. I've spent my life protecting these wonderful creatures. This is my story. I am told that these are some of the oldest rocks in the world. Myself, I'm not a young man anymore. I now have 63 years. But whenever I can, I climb these rocks so that my eyes can fill up with the beauty of this place. I live here in South Africa's Pilanesberg National Park. And here, I watch and care for the animals that have become like my second family, the black rhinos of the Pilanesberg. There are many of us in Africa that love the rhinos and want to protect them. That is my job here, to keep watch on the rhinos and make sure they can live safely. The Pilanesberg is a big place. It is like a hidden world because it is surrounded by the walls of a very old, collapsed volcano. Inside these rock rings, the rhinos make their home, and they share it with some of Africa's most spectacular creatures. Although it is so big, the Pilanesberg is encircled by a very long fence. When I first arrived here as a young man, I would patrol the fence on my bicycle. But how I got here, that story began a long time ago in my homeland of Malawi, when I was just a little boy. Malawi is a small and very beautiful country deep in the heart of Africa. Although it is a long time since I've been back, my memories of it make me happy. When I was little, we would play for hours in the dusty playground around my school. We took our lessons outside under a great acacia tree. But it was difficult for me to listen. I was always a dreamer. My eyes would wander to the sky, where I would find the shapes of animals in the clouds. My grandfather was the one who put the animals in my head. And it was him I would dream of at school. Every day he would come after school to walk me home to our village. While we walked, he told me stories of the great beasts that he saw as a young man. The king lion stalking in the long grass. The elephant family moving across the plains. The cunning hyena who hears all. It was his stories that made me love the animals. Often he would tell me of the rhinos he had seen as a young man. He would say, "Little George, such an animal you have never seen, with a skin like iron and a spear on his nose. But now, there are few. I would walk in the bush pretending I was searching for the lost rhinos of Malawi, dreaming I could see what he had seen. In Africa, we believe we are guided by our ancestors. I know that is why I'm here, in this place. My grandfather's blood runs in my veins. His love of the rhino is in me. And now I am monitor of all the black rhinos in the Pilanesberg. The black rhino is now one of the world's most endangered animals. For many years, people in the East have paid poachers to kill them and take only the horn. These people believe rhino horn to have great power as a medicine. But that horn is made from the same material as my fingernail. It has no power as a medicine. It only has power when it is part of a living rhino. This very weapon that is designed for protection has become the rhino's greatest weakness. If these people could only see a rhino in the wild, I don't think they would want them dead. Our rhinos are safe from poachers here because we protect this important population. I think my grandfather would be proud of me. I wish he could see this place. I'm now a grandfather myself, and as the children in my family have grown up, I've always told them stories like my grandfather told me. Tonight, I have a special story to tell. I will tell my grandchildren and my wife Joyce this news. But first, I will tell them of Chimbani, my favorite rhino. There are more than 50 black rhinos in the Pilanesberg, but Chimbani has always been special. Ever since I first saw him galloping after his mother 6 winters ago. He was so tiny, like a little warthog. In my home language of Chichewa, my ancestral name is Chimbani, which means the first one or the chosen one. This little calf was named Chimbani after me and has now grown into a handsome, cheeky 6-year-old bull. The kids know Chimbani from many stories I've told them, like how he chases me up trees. The news I've heard today is wonderful. I've been told that Chimbani, like his name, has indeed been chosen. He's to be captured and relocated in 2 days to help start a new breeding population of rhino in another African country. My ancestors must be hard at work, for the country Chimbani is going to is Malawi. And I've been asked to travel with him. Like me when I was small, the children love these stories. It is important that they have a fire lit in their hearts so that the young people of Africa will learn to love the wild animals. Sunrise is my favorite time in the bush. In the middle of Pilanesberg is a lake at a place called Mangwe. Often I will meet with 2 other game scouts here to discuss plans for the day. These are my friends, Saniboy Mfolo and John Makomula Molete. They help me when I'm trying to find specific rhinos. There are 2 species of the African rhino, and both of them live here in the Pilanesberg. There is the black rhinoceros, which lives in the thickly wooded river valleys, and the white rhinoceros, which we find more on the open plains. These names are very confusing because both animals are gray. The white rhino is bigger than the black, and it gets its name from the shape of its mouth. Because of its very wide lip, early Dutch settlers called it the vade or white rhino. This wide lip is used for grazing grass, which is all they eat. For this reason, you find white rhinos on the big open grasslands. White rhinos are not nearly as aggressive as black rhinos. They will very seldom charge when you approach them. The black rhino's mouth is very different, with a pointed top lip, which can move like a hen. They use it to break off twigs and leaves of small bushes. Most of the bushes they like to eat grow in dense thickets. This is where they live, and because they are much more aggressive than white rhinos, approaching them can be dangerous. We sometimes also find black rhinos out in the open. This is usually after a fire, when the bushes and the grasses are growing new green shoots. In the hot months of the rainy season, they come out to drink and wallow in the mud holes. The mud cools them down and also sticks to their skin when it dries. They then rub it off, which removes the insects caked in the mud. Wallowing and rubbing is one of the similarities between the species. White rhinos also love the mud. Another difference is how these rhinos look after their babies. When they are running, white rhinos keep their babies in front, so that on the open grass, they can watch the youngsters. Black rhino mothers keep their babies behind, so that they can clear a path for the little ones through the bush. Always they run like this, even in the open. Although I can tell many of these rhinos apart, most rhinos look alike to people who don't know them. There are so few rhinos left in the world that each animal is precious and important. For this reason, we have developed a good system to help identify individuals, particularly from a distance. Each rhino in the Pilanesberg has a different pattern of notches cut into its ears. We keep a book with pictures of the rhino's ears and horns. This code lets us know where they come from and who their parents are. The problem, of course, is getting the notches in the ears. Every year, the vets and scientists from all the Northwest parks get together for this ear notching operation. And I'm always excited to be part of the team. The rhinos that are to be marked will be shot with a tranquilizing dart from a helicopter. We search for all the mothers with new calves and all the unmarked rhinos. The vet then decides how big a dose each animal must be given to immobilize it. Everyone works very quickly. The vet takes blood samples to check the rhino's health, and then we notch the ears. Although this looks painful, it will heal quickly. We keep the notch pieces for DNA records and insert computer chips into the horn and the neck hump. These chips help us identify the animal or its horn if it is removed by poachers. We quickly spray disinfectant on the ears and give a big dose of antibiotics. The helicopter leaves to dart the next rhino before this one wakes up. These operations are a very exciting and dangerous time, both for the rhinos and the crew. We try to be as quick as we can with each animal, but often they fall down in very difficult places, and we must make sure that they don't hurt themselves. The eyes are covered to keep the rhino calm and from being accidentally injured by all the activity. When the rhinos start to wake up, they are confused and will charge anything. So it is best to move everyone away for safety. But someone has to remove the blindfold. I'm usually the last person around the animal when it wakes up. We try to follow the recovering rhinos to make sure everything is okay. But black rhinos are not afraid to charge the truck. And then we are the ones who must run away. Capturing and moving a rhino is no small job. Tomorrow is the day when a big team of people and equipment will come here to capture Chimbane. I must track him down and find out where he is, so that we know where to begin the search tomorrow. It will be important to begin his journey early in the day, before the sun gets too hot. Like most black rhinos, Chimbane is very shy. He likes the thick bush because he finds food here and can hide. You cannot take a vehicle into these places, so I must go in and track him on foot. This always makes my heart go faster. Rhinos often travel along trails, and there are many clues if you know how to find them. You can see their footprints in the sand and can often tell by their size and the distance between their steps whether it is a male or a female. Rhinos mark their territory on these trails by leaving dung in places called middens. They kick their dung with their feet so that when they walk their trail, other rhinos can smell it. These middens also hold many clues when trekking. I know this is a midden of a black rhino because there are twigs and leaves in it. White rhinos eat only grass. Also, the dung is still warm and the flies have not yet laid their eggs. A rhino has used this midden recently. I must be very careful. A rhino cannot see very well, but the senses of smell and hearing are sharp. So it is important to stay downwind when trekking. The bush is getting thicker, and this is one of Chimpane's favorite areas. I'm likely to find him nearby. However, the first rhinos I find are a small group of 3. Chimpane normally travels alone. And as I get closer, I can see that this is another rhino we call hairy ear. She carries the most magnificent horn of any rhino here, and she's not afraid to use it. One jab from this spear could kill a man stone dead. She has a 3-year-old cub with her and has been joined by a young bull. The wind has shifted and she has picked up my scent. So I must be very careful. This is a dangerous lady because she is usually in a bad mood. She approaches me to investigate. You must always be ready to move quickly. Black rhinos can be very unpredictable, and you never know whether today will be the day they charge you. It is good to make sure there is a tree nearby. I've become a very good tree climber over the years. Fortunately, Harry here has decided that I am not worth the trouble today and moves on. Although I'm glad to have seen her, it is Chimpani I must find. Through the years of following Chimpani and his mother, I've come to know many of his favorite spots. There is a stream nearby where he drinks regularly, and it is here that I pick up his trail. Fresh tracks, heading towards one of his feeding areas. Some of the trees that rhinos eat are good for people too. This one has sweet berries that I also cannot resist after walking a long way in the bush. From the tree, his tracks lead to a small acacia thicket nearby. And it is here that I finally spot him, fast asleep. It is hot, the time of the day when rhinos like to sleep and stay cool. Although a rhino Chimpani size does not have any natural predators, he is always alert, even when asleep. As I approach, his sharp ears hear my footsteps in the grass. He knows I'm nearby and moves in closer so he can see me. So many times we have faced each other like this. But today may be our last day together in the Pilansberg. I will stay with him all day today, so that tomorrow morning we will know where to begin looking again. When he moves back into the thick bush to rest again, I will follow him. And when he goes back to sleep, I will rest with him. Forever we will be tied by this journey back to my homeland, which begins tomorrow. I will miss him, this boy of mine. In Malawi, all the people await news of Chimpani's capture, and arrangements are being made for his arrival. Before he leaves this place, there is one more thing to do. I want to get a piece of wood from the tree near Chimpani's stream. I will carve a wooden rhino to take with me to Malawi. A piece of Chimpani's home that I can live there to watch over him. When I carve, the shape comes to me out of the wood. all that is in my heart will find its way into this piece of wood. All of our history will go with us to Malawi. Tomorrow's sunrise is the last Chimpanya will see in the place of his birth. My heart is heavy, but at the same time, I'm happy. Together he and I are beginning the adventure that our lives have brought us to. To catch a rhino is a big job. A large team of people has gathered here and the helicopter has arrived to find and dart Chimpanya. Again, it is a very cold morning, but the spirits are high. Everybody's excited and happy, but also nervous. The crews from South Africa's Kruger National Park and the Northwest Parks will work together. Marcus Hofmeyer is a vet from the Kruger. He will be tranquilizing and caring for Chimpanya through the whole journey.
When was David born?
Marcus and I studied Chimpanya's notches so that he will be able to identify him from the air.
You saw him? Where did you see him? Up there, Red Hook. Red Hook. Fine.
Gas van Dijk is the Pilansberg ecologist. He and I know the area well and will guide the pilot during the search.
From that way you go around the mountain there, and you come out that way, and then on that amphibious feet as well.
I know Chimpanya will be scared when he hears the helicopter. I am nervous too. Things can go wrong. Chimpanya has the advantage. He will hear us before we can see him. And there are many places he can hide.
Still searching?
Yeah.
I take the pilot to the valley where Chimpanya and I slept the day before. It takes a while, but eventually he runs into the open right beneath us. After Marcus darts him, we follow, while radioing the ground crew to tell them the dart is in.
What direction is he heading over?
The pilot herds Chimpanya to an open area, and as he slows down, we give the ground crew our position.
Okay, we'll turn around and start moving down.
The trucks with all the people and equipment necessary to load a rhino start heading our way. As soon as Chimpanya falls down, we must get to him quickly. My job is to cover his eyes so that he cannot see, and so that they don't dry out or get injured.
Have you got a drill? Anybody got a drill?
This is the most dangerous time of the capture for the rhino. Marcus must make sure that Chimpanya has the right mix of drugs in his body. Too much, and he may die of an overdose. Too little, and he will be dangerous to all of us. The tip of Chimpanya's horn is removed to stop him from injuring himself and us as he is moved.
Cut some more from that side.
It will take some time, but like a fingernail, it will grow back.
Foxtrot Charlie, 5 weeks ago.
Blood samples and measurements must all be taken. Big animals like rhinos overheat very quickly and can die from this. So we pour water on him to keep his temperature down.
Have you got that? I'll please go on to get it.
While the truck with the traveling crate is brought into position, we prepare Chimpanye to be woken up. The only way to get such a big animal into such a small box is to wake him up and walk him in. Marcus reverses the effect of the drugs. As soon as Chimpanye wakes up, one team pulls and the rest of us push.
Oh, this one is very good. This is good. Push!
Chimpanye is not happy inside the crate, and his trimmed horn has already dented the metal. As the crate is loaded, I realize that his feet will never touch the soil of Pilanesberg again. This makes me sad. I will miss him greatly, but Malawi will be enriched by his arrival. I know he is safe now, but there is a long journey ahead. We travel through the night to the Kruger National Park, where Chimpanye will be held until the trip to Malawi. When we arrive, he's released into an enclosure called a bowman. He's scared and very angry. We will leave him to settle down because tomorrow he must meet his new mate. By morning, Chimpanye has had a chance to get familiar with his surroundings. The female is placed in the bowman next door. She was captured in the Marakele National Park and is a very aggressive animal, even though her name, Chimwemwe, means the sweet one. She can injure herself charging the fence, so we try and stay out of her sight as much as possible. This is where Marcus lives, so he will keep an eye on both rhinos until the move to Malawi. In the meantime, we teach the rhinos to follow a flag on a stick, so they can be moved around. Chimpanye has settled nicely. I always use a low whistle when approaching, which seems to help calm rhinos down. We now feel the time is right for the big move. There is also good news. Marcus has discovered that Chimwemwe is pregnant. This is an unexpected blessing and may explain her fierce behavior. As we get closer to leaving, a decision has been made to remove Chimpanye's horns. He has shown some aggressive behavior toward Chimwemwe and could hurt her and her baby when they are released. Although he looks strange, this is the right decision. In Malawi, he will be safe from predators and other bulls who could injure him, and his horns will grow back over time. When the big day comes to leave for Malawi, Chimpanye must be tranquilized early in the morning. All the training with the flag pays off, and Chimpanye follows it quietly into the crate. This is the start of a long and nervous day for all of us. From the time he is first darted to when he gets into the boma in Malawi, could be more than 10 hours, and much can go wrong, as we are soon to find out. The airplane that is taking us to Malawi has come from Zimbabwe especially for this. The pilots from Sky Relief are very experienced at flying in and out of dangerous airstrips. But this is the first time they will carry rhinos. They normally help the Red Cross move supplies and refugees in the war zones of Central Africa. Like the rest of our team, they are very good at what they do. When we get the crate with Chimpanye to the door of the plane, we find that we cannot get it in. Although it has been carefully measured and we know it fits, the angle is wrong, and we need 1 more inch clearance at the top. With the Rhino and the crate weighing well over a ton, the crate is very difficult to maneuver. This is very worrying. We are running out of time, and all the noise and movement will upset Chimpanye. A lot of people have come to say goodbye to Chimpanye, so luckily, there are many hands to help push the airplane to a better position. If this doesn't work, there is no choice but to stop the operation and take him back to the boma. After a lot of hard work and determination, the crate is slowly squeezed into the airplane. At last, we are ready to go. The flight will take 3 hours, and it is very loud inside the plane. So I try to console Chimpanye with my voice. At this point, I am his only connection to home. The place that has been chosen for the rhino's new home is the Liwonde National Park. Malawi is called the warm heart of Africa, and Liwonde is surely one of the most beautiful places. It is deep into the dry season, but the flat plains of the Shiri River are green with fresh grass. This will be a good home for the rhinos. I'm excited about coming home with this precious gift from South Africa. But I cannot think about this now. The pilots have told us that it is very hot on the ground. Chimpanye has already been in the crate for more than 8 hours, and we need to get him into his new boma quickly. Our Malawian friends are waiting on the airstrip to help us unload. We get Chimpanye out of the plane as quickly as possible. The temperature has peaked over 100 degrees, and we must get him out of his hot crate soon. I ride with a caravan of trucks as we rush him to his new boma, while the plane returns to South Africa to pick up Chimwemwe. Chimpanye is in excellent condition, considering his long ordeal, and quickly explores his new boma.
Come on, come on, come on, come on.
After a short while, he comes to my call
Don't worry, just look smart.
and
Look
lets
smart,
me touch him.
Look smart. There's nothing.
His trust in me seems to have grown.
That's your home, eh? Keep it cool, oh boy. Oh boy. Don't worry. Good.
He needs to rest and feed tonight,
Come on, oh boy.
because tomorrow the plane returns
Oh boy.
with Chimwemwe.
Bye.
In the morning, we prepare a boma for Chimwemwe's arrival. Marcus has radioed to tell us to get ready because she's not very happy about coming to Malawi. Before she causes any more trouble, she needs to be let out of the crate. Both rhinos have been through a lot these last few weeks. They need to be left alone without human interference to adjust to their new home. Now I have time to meet the man who will be watching over Chimpane here in Malawi. His name is Jabs Zimba. And like me, he has been anxiously awaiting this day. We have never met before. Everyone here tells me that Zimba is a good man with a kind heart. We have arranged to go to the boma together so that Zimba can meet his new charges. To make sure the rhinos are safe, a large piece of land called a sanctuary has been fenced off for them in the middle of the park. Armed Luwanda game guards will patrol this area, and Zimba will track and follow the rhinos when they are released from the boma. Already the numbers of animals here are building up again under the protection of the anti-poaching unit. Chimpane and his new family will be very safe here. I explained to Zimba that it is important for Chimpane to get to know his boys. They will be meeting each other in the wild, and it will be good for Chimpane to recognize his caretaker. I also hope that he won't chase Zimba up too many trees. I think Chimpane likes him, but Chimwemwe is still unhappy with everybody. It is time to let them rest. They must get used to their surroundings and the local vegetation we are feeding them before they are ready to be released. A week has passed since the rhinos arrived in Malawi. There has been rain, and Marcus feels it is time for the release. He's worried that Chimwemwe has not settled and is not eating. She needs to be in the wild at this crucial point in her pregnancy so she can feed herself. She will be moved first. If we darted Chimpane first, she may try to protect him through the fence while we work on him, and she would definitely hurt herself and the baby. After Marcus has darted her, it takes a few minutes for her to go down. We quickly fit her with a radio collar which will help Zimba and the others to find her in the wilds of the sanctuary. Chimpane can see her through the fence and is distressed at all the activity. He calls to her with high-pitched whining sounds. He's trying to talk to her, but she's not answering. The soldiers from the anti-poaching unit are here to help us. For many of them, this is the first time they have seen a rhino. It is good for them to know how special these animals are that they will be risking their lives to protect. Chimwemwe is taken to a spot deep in the heart of the sanctuary, where she is released. She will be on her own for about an hour before Chimpanye is freed as well. We will not follow them, but I hope that they will find each other soon. Chimpanye is next. When black rhinos are darted and the drug starts to work, they walk slowly in circles. This goes on for some time before they eventually come to a stop. Chimpanye has stopped in a corner and is in danger of suffocating himself. His weight pushes against his nose and mouth. We have to move him away from the wall of the boma. But he's very strong and doesn't realize we are trying to help him. It takes some work, but eventually he's down and breathing normally. As we drive into the sanctuary, it suddenly hits me. This is the end of a long road for me and my namesake. When that crate opens, Chimpanye will be free in my homeland. I imagine that my grandfather is watching over us and is happy at this day. Chimpanye and Chimwemwe will start a healthy black rhinoceros population in Malawi. While this is an end for me, it is a beginning for Chimpanye. The pride and hope of a nation rests with him. It is time for me to return to South Africa. Chimpanye and Chimwemwe are doing well. But first, I must leave my carving to watch over them. This wood is from Chimpanye's home. This rhino is carved by my own hands. This rhino will be my eyes and spirit, staying here to watch over my young man and his new wife. Now back home in the Pilansberg, my adventure seems like a dream. It is strange not to see Chimpanye here in his home near the stream. But I'm not sad, because I found someone special to take his place here. Today, I found a newborn calf near my favorite rocks. This latest addition to the Pilansberg may also be the newest black rhino baby in the whole world. This is great reason for joy. This will be her name, Joy.